So we're basically tech bloggers that have been working together for the last 5 years and trying to work in the area of producing videos for YouTube that are product demonstrations and sort of quick news, where speed is important and mobility is important. And I guess over the last 5 years we've refined our kit and our process to try and make it as easy and as quick and as mobile as possible. Sasha Pallenberg, some of you might know him, runs networknews.de, partner with Nicole, and I'm ultrabooknews.com and carrypad.com, but we've been working together for 5 years. Sasha, we met 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
See it? Yeah.
Time was by.
Yeah. I've personally been interested in the ultramobile area. I used to run umcportal.com, which is an ultramobile PC portal, where we've done lots of experimentation with PC-based tablets and everything before the iPhone and iPad. And since then, of course, been testing smartphone-based solutions and single solutions that where you can do the editing on the phone and send the video to YouTube. I think the most important things for us were, and I speak in general for sort of reporters and bloggers, where time is important, where location is important, where you may not have Wi-Fi coverage that's brilliant, where you may not have 3G coverage which is brilliant. The important things are weight and size, the cost of the solution as well. Actually, it wouldn't be sensible for us to be carrying around 20 grand, 40 grand's worth of equipment when we're running around all these places. It would be at risk because at least one of us has had multiple bits of kit stolen in the last years. So that's also an important factor. Speed of editing, speed of rendering, and then the bit rate that you render to, because the bit rate that you render to also determines how quickly that can upload over crappy connections.
And how quickly it'll show up on YouTube, because if you export to match YouTube settings, then it'll just immediately appear, and it won't take an additional re-rendering time afterwards. So we've kind of streamlined the process to.
How many of you guys do sort of mobile in the field uploads, or just show your hand if you do sort of in the field work? Sometimes, but mostly in studio, right? Everyone's working in the studio.
Desktop environment.
Or honestly, okay, yeah.
And I'm currently working on a mobile version. I got a laptop from Asus, and currently testing Matrox MXO Mini for playback on screen. Monitoring screen. Sure.
So I think the ultimate aim really is really to get it in that form factor, right, where the connectivity is there, the applications are there, the quality is there that you need as well. But unfortunately, although Apple are extremely close on this, I think, a few things are missing. For example, a telephoto lens is missing. Some sort of electronic stability, stabilization. The apps still need to be made a lot better, although I think Apple, we all agree that the iMovie suite is class leading in terms of mobile video editing. And also the hardware on the iPad as well, the video encoding hardware on there speeds up that. 720p encoding on the iPad is blindingly fast. It's well optimized, but then really it's only there to be partnered with the iPhone, so you lose some flexibility. You can't stick an SD card in or use someone else's content and bring that in very easily. So although those solutions, and I always go back to trying to look at those solutions to see if I can get something more out of them, I revisit them every 6 months, I'm still ending up with a camera and a laptop, which I think for most of us is
standard anyways if you're creating content.
Standard setup, right? I think we're all ready for the time when this happens, and we're all got it in our pocket for the time when something happens that we can take a video of and upload it, but for the time being, for our normal videos, I think we're still. So what we've got here is, I think, a situation where, in the past you could buy for 2,000 euros or 1.5 kilo high-powered laptop, but battery life was probably pretty bad, and price was pretty high. €2,500 is not cheap for a mobile laptop. But we're getting to the point now where that's coming down to sub €1,000. So you can get a nice Core i5 or AMD Fusion, or let's look at the next generation AMD platforms, which have got this nice CUDA processing in it as well. The GT640M. I don't know if any of you know about discrete graphics, but this GT640M looks pretty cool for some of the ultra mobile solutions. But what I think all of us have settled on now is actually an Intel, you're an Intel Core i5 Sandy Bridge solution, Sandy Bridge being the current Intel Core technology, which has this video processing engine called Intel QuickSync Video. None of us are sponsored by Intel, by the way. It's just a solution with
Just the flights.
grab it.
Yeah.
Although
Just the flights, yeah.
for full disclosure, I was given this by Intel. It's got a bit of a flashy top
Yeah.
to it.
And we got
Me
another
too.
one over here.
Yeah.
But that's because
Oh, you can buy it. This one, the specific one. But this
they
one
gave us-
starts below €1,000, right?
Just below 1,000, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Looks
because
similar like the iPad Air
yeah.
or the MacBook Air.
MacBook Air,
Yeah.
yeah, because we're always kind of like pushing the boundaries on what their technology can do. We're just kind of the perfect people to carry around their flashiest technology. I guess that's kind of why they like us.
Yeah.
So yeah, at CeBIT they gave us these ones for long-term review so that we can like keep on trying to figure out how their technology can be the quickest. Yeah, so we've actually settled on CyberLink PowerDirector 10. I mean, this is a consumer software for like $60. I mean, it's super affordable. It's really cheap, and if you're not making movies, it's pretty much everything that the average person would have. I mean, there's the ability for plugins. Like it still has like the stabilization, like everything that you see in iMovie. Basically, this has. I mean, except this is linear editing. Whereas iMovie kind of has that S that I find kind of confusing sometimes, but yeah, that's
What's the exact product name?
CyberLink PowerDirector 10.
Yeah, I mean the huge advantage is that it's just supporting the Core i5 or the Intel GPU, and you have this hardware acceleration. Just to give you an idea, well, I'm using a slightly different machine over here. That's a Core i7. This is roughly around. It comes with an
you
additional.
can see the successful bloggers here, right?
It comes with an additional battery, and it offers you a 1080p display resolution on a 13-inch, which is really nice. But with the Core i7, I can render a 20 Mbit 1080p with CyberLink, with this Power Director, a 10 minutes video file in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, with
So it's really fast.
yeah.
So there used to be specific versions of PowerDirector. Is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is this just 10
I
now,
would only do 10.
or is
I
it
mean,
Ultra
64,
whatever?
So yeah, we use the 64 version. These are 64-bit machines, and it is Ultra that we use. I'm just trying to think of the differences between the cheaper one and the Ultra version. I've only ever had the expensive version, so
Okay.
They have additional like transition effects in
I think
there.
yeah,
Yeah, but
the
the
sound
the hardware
module and
acceleration
stuff like that.
is native for both. Because
But
I used to have the other one before I got the Ultra, so the hardware acceleration.
oh, so the hardware acceleration is in both, and that's the important thing. And CyberLink don't just support the Intel; they support NVIDIA and AMD acceleration solutions as well. So
Yeah, because prior to PowerDirector 10, I actually had a hard time finding a stable video editing software for Windows, which is why I was an Apple user. And I was the problem on the team because I had an Apple, and Apple doesn't like codecs, and then AVCHD is problematic, and then someone passes you a file, and you're like, sorry, I have to convert it to Apple's intermediary codec, and then we're at a show, and he's giving me the death dagger stares that I'm not doing it fast enough, and I'm like, but Apple doesn't like anything. They only like their, so I mean, I had a lot of problems like working with the Windows team.
I know you've been using this external dongle at that time.
Yeah.
Was it
The
Elgato?
Elgato dongles.
Which offers you a real-time rendering, right?
Yeah.
But that's real-time. Well, we can do it like it's 3x of real-time. That's a huge advantage for us when we're on the show floor, where we just need to render something and get it up immediately.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm the cheap blogger out of us three. I use 720p, fairly low bitrate to put up to YouTube. And the reason I do that is that I don't believe my audience really needs 1080p, but I believe that I need to get YouTubes up as quickly as possible to beat Engadget and people like that. Yeah, okay. There's an argument, and I take it from these guys that 1080p might be very important in the future if that content ends up on a big screen.
Yeah.
I take that argument. At the moment, I'm not at that stage. But I'm at about 3 to 4x real time to take a 1080p source and put that into a 720p 3.5 megabit per second file. So, you know, a 10-minute file is taking me 2 minutes to render, which is that's available for $899, I believe, in Europe.
Yeah.
And there are solutions that use the same hardware available for $699 now in Europe.
So what kind of factor are you getting between the i7 and the i5? Is it negligible?
Well, that's actually a mobile version. That's the ultra low voltage version. So you have quite some performance differences. But what Steve was pointing out was mainly to reduce the bit rate and the resolution from a 1080p file to a 720p file. And this is definitely really fast with it. And you're getting a lot of performance for your money.
There's two technologies worth mentioning. So one is the quick sync video, which is hardware encoder, hardware decoder for multiple formats, WMV, H.264, MPEG-2, for example. There are specialists which don't believe the codecs used for the encoding are that good, but I think for YouTube they're good enough. The second bit of technology is this turbo technology. So this is a 1.7 gig CPU, but under short-term load, it can go to 2.7 gigahertz, which really makes a difference.
On a single core though?
It's a dual core, dual threaded, so it's effectively 4 cores.
But it won't does it overclock all cores at the same time?
Depending on how warm your laptop already is and for how long you're working. I mean, it will go to 2.7 this way and then tail off to maybe 2.4. But you're getting a significant advantage with this turbo. And the great advantage is when you're only typing, it's down at 800 megahertz and it's saving, it's giving you 6 to 7 hours battery life for 1 kilo. So for those of us that do the video content and the textual content and then some social networking as well, I think it's really important to have that dynamic range,
Absolutely.
So,
it's important to make sure that the problem that a lot of people are seeing is that they're just transferring over, even a lot of people that I'm talking to here, they're transferring over their desktop software onto their laptop, hoping that they're going to see the same performance. But you really need to look at which softwares are actually taking advantage of this technology, and right now there's not that many that are stable. So I mean, there's the Sony Vegas, which I find it a little finicky, and when something crashes on you, it's just unacceptable. So far, Power Director, I've tried 7, 8, and 9, and I couldn't use them. I thought they were unstable and they weren't worth using. But it seems that with Power Director 10, there's finally, I think, a really competitive solution for iMovie on Windows, which is exciting for Windows.
So this figures into your workflow how? I mean, did it change the way you work with the video? Or do you just still straight record? You said yesterday 90% one take and then just a quick intro, outro and then upload?
intro, outro title, maybe pre-roll out or something, I don't know. Maybe a couple of cuts, depending. So maybe some shortening, and then maybe an edit as well.
Yeah, and I'm more willing to do lighting, because in press conferences I don't know what the PR people are thinking, putting orange and purple lights on their products. I mean, it's exciting when you're there, but it doesn't translate well into video. So, sometimes I'm willing to kind of play around with the lighting now. Now that I know that it'll just be slightly over real time if I decide to do some white balancing and some tweaks afterwards. So it has changed a little bit in that regard, whereas before I wouldn't be willing to do that on an Apple. It would just take too long.
And you're doing that just sitting down at the conference?
Yeah.
While you're watching something else, you're just happily working away?
Yeah.
And
it's nice.
you couldn't do that before?
You
could, but
the battery life was an issue on a Core 2 Duo. We'll all be like, okay, let's run for the plug so we can export our video, because you can't.
Plus, we've had no hardware acceleration at that time.
Yeah, and there was
that
no
means if you would love to render a 1080p video,
it's all loaded on the processor.
On the previous generation, a 10 minutes video could take you 20 or 30 minutes.
Or even
if you can do it in 4 minutes, that's a huge difference for us.
Absolutely. And also, it's not It's not that big of a drain on the battery life.
No, no,
No.
not at all.
That's,
Do you really get 4 to 5 hours of
Yeah.
cutting
Yeah.
time on the
Yeah.
machine?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Because before that, it was completely rendering on the CPU. And now it's happening on the GPU part, right? And that's a huge difference in terms of battery life, power consumption.
So I thought it might be just cool, it's just to show you a process of the way we usually work in an exhibition or something. And we'll do a quick video of one of the things and we'll just go through it, yeah? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we might need to try it twice. Let me just see if I can get this screen working. No, it's not.
Do you have experience with the Adobe suite
I
on
do-
mobile computing?
I do.
Yeah.
Not in mobile, desktop. Yeah.
On desktop.
On
Not
desktop.
on mobile. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Is this a 1080p? It must be,
I've
right?
never, yeah.
You're-
Mobile, I was always Apple, right? And then sometimes
Okay.
when I went back to the office in my last job, yeah, I would have a desktop for that one. But the Adobe Premiere Pro does have CUDA acceleration.
Yeah, that's the question. I don't know if you.
Personally, I've never been big on Adobe, although I've talked to a few people here that are kind of wooing me back, right? But they still seem to only prefer it for desktop solutions as well. I haven't found anyone here at the show that's using it on a laptop.
How do you deal with audio editing? Do you do this on site as well with some ear?
No, you just make sure that you do it right when you're shooting it. That's the.
You usually only get one take. I mean, let's imagine this is a product that's just been launched, and you'll know about this, right? It's on the table. There are about 10 journalists around, and you really you've got 1 minute, maybe to do one take or two takes, take some photos, and you're out. And that's how it is. So I'm going to do it here. Let's do a really quick one. I'll just do it maybe a minute long with a couple of shots, yeah, a couple of edits. So I've got a Panasonic Lumix. It's not a DSLR, it's a normal compact camera, but it's got a fairly wide angle lens. It's got the swivel screen as well, so I can do the personal intro if I need to in the same take, and then go straight to the product and do that as well. It's got a mic input, hot shoe, fairly good low light resolution, sensitivity, and a fairly good built-in microphone as well. So that's really important that I can just switch this to automatic and just have it working. I'm not going to be a professional videographer when I'm getting in and doing a 1 minute video. So
you're not using the mic input. You're using. The
no, I
built-in.
sometimes do. I've sometimes mic myself up because there's so much noise around. Or if we're doing an interview, we might have a mic. But generally not. I mean, we're usually pretty close to the camera.
What kind of mic do you use then?
Oh, a very cheap one from Conrad that was $12.99.
Okay.
Cable mic, and it works. I mean, this is all about getting the right acceptable level for YouTube viewers. I think.
What was the model number of your camera?
This is the FZ150. It's about 420 euros. It's got the 24x zoom, which is also pretty good if you're at the back of the press conference and you want to pick out the product. And it goes to a pretty wide angle, and also focuses pretty close as well. I mean, we all have our different choices. These guys, what camera do you got?
Yeah, I've got the Canon Vixia. I've actually been a Canon Vixia user this is my third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still using our very first one.
Yeah, no,
It's over 3 years old, right? But it shoots 24 mbit, 1080p. It has a mic in, great image stabilizer, and like 100 minutes of battery life. And it's just very light, right? Very compact. So
Yeah,
it's just
you-
perfect.
you-
Cheap to replace.
What's that?
Cheap to replace, I reckon.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think we have 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, my old one that's broken.
So I'm going to record this 25 frames a second, 1080p in just in H.264 MP4. So this will be how it will go.
And while you're doing that, you're taking. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's fine, go on.
You're taking an interview and.
Yeah, so I'm now going to do what I do at a product demonstration, okay?
Okay.
So let's just do it. So it's Chippy from Ultrabook News here. We're at the new launch of the Asus UX21. We've got a very quick hands-on for you. Only got a few minutes to show you the video. Going to go around the device as we have it here in front of us. Loads of people around us checking us out, and there's the device. A lot of you have seen this in the newspaper. A lot of you have seen this, on Engadget preview. There's a quick look, lovely keyboard. Actually love the screen brightness on this one, really different. 1600 by 1440. Thank you, Sasha. By 900. There's the ports. We've got USB 3, a mini VGA. There's an HDMI connector there. Let's spin it around. And on this side, we've got the SD card, headphone. There's probably a combination headphone, mic input, and a USB 2 there as well. Just a quick look on the underside. No removable battery on this, so that's something you might want to take note of. We're going to see if we can get more hands on with this a bit later, but that, for the time being, is the ASICS UX31 that's just been launched here at the video show here in Düsseldorf. Thanks for watching. So that'll be the 1 minute video. And it wasn't very good because you guys were watching me. Seriously, I prefer to have 50 press around me rather than you guys. And I'll basically do the classic SD card transfer. And I use Windows Live Gallery. I can't get it working on this, unfortunately. Maybe I can quickly do that. So that SD card's an SDXC card. And I'll just take the videos that we've just done here. Import those. I delete them off my card immediately so I can take that card out and put it back in the camera for the next thing. And that's imported now. So card's out. And then what I'll do is I'll just take that, what is it, a 162 meg video, and we'll drag it into Cyberlink. Here, now I've got this set up so that I've got intro, outro, and a couple of...
Put it on the external screen.
Yeah, but it's not working on the external screen. Let's have a look. It's kind of screwed up.
Well, just, there you go.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I don't know what's happening. It doesn't seem to recognize it. So anyway, so I've got a little intro, outro thing there. What I'm going to do is just drag that in, insert it. This has a little feature where you can do automatic fade on all sections of the video, so we'll just do a quick overlap transition on that. And then I'll put title in. Test title. Give it a little center.
So have these like templated? As
So-
a sort of template engine?
Yeah. So I'll have a little template here. I'll just go back to that to show you. I can do a quick preview of what's happening there. So yeah, so you can see exactly what's happening. There's the video. And then what I've got here is a profile set up for, as I said, 3.3 megabits per second on 720p with 25 frames a second, so it matches the input frame rate, so we don't have to worry about that. And I've enabled quick sync video. This is the hardware. We've got a video of 1 minute 17. I'm just going to start that edit. And here we go, here's the pointer going through. It's going to be done in around 25 seconds, so at least 2x time. It's probably done in less than 20 seconds. So at least 2x real time, that's the thing that really helps. Because at this time, maybe I'm preparing a little bit of content for the YouTube title and whatever, tags. And that will be done. And then, yeah, as normal, you find the strongest Wi-Fi or the strongest 3G and upload as quickly as you can. You tend to be running outside or by windows or this sort of thing.
Shutting off everyone else's computers.
Get the Wi-Fi blockers out.
Do you always rely on local Wi-Fi available, or do you have some international roaming cards?
Well, we use local roaming cards where we'll always have a local roaming card wherever we are.
Yeah.
If
It's like-
not two, I mean,
It's the first thing that we do whenever we land anywhere.
at
By normal
CBIT we might
cards.
have 5.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might have all the providers.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you cannot rely on the local Wi-Fi. You can't really rely on the 3G now. We're actually got to a point where, well, when it was 2.5G, the first people on 3G had a real advantage. We're now at that point where everyone's on 3G, and when it goes to 4G, you're going to get the advantage again.
Yeah, we have these little
So we get to the
credit
end.
cards with different...
Instead of credit cards,
There you
you have
go.
SIM
We're
cards.
SIM card holders.
That's all currency.
Yeah, so that's done and ready to upload. So, I mean, it wasn't a quality process I showed you there. Sorry, it wasn't a quality video at all that I showed you there. But the process is quick, sharp, and allows us to upload as soon as we can. And total weight there is around 1.5 kilograms. Total cost there is about 1,500 euros, including the software, and that allows us to do anything from up to 1080p, 50 frames a second. I think it's the same with you guys as well.
Yeah. If we're at the office Wi-Fi, we upload it like 13 Mbit, because it's nicer. But when we're at the shows, we try to do 6, because 6 is like the magic number for YouTube. They compress down to about 6.5. So anything above that is just for fun.
The 720p goes up to 8 Mbit right now on YouTube, and the 1080p is up to 10 Mbit. So it's pretty cool when your bitrate is already matching the one from YouTube. It helps the processing.
It's not reconverting then?
No. Well, there are some formats where it really reconverts, especially when you try to upload WMV or something like that. That really takes a while.
And like you'll see like the process bar for like it processing is like maybe 3 times the length of the upload. I've noticed sometimes. So I mean, it's actually really worth your while to like check your profiles and try to match them, because it can make a big difference, especially when you post a video to YouTube. If we beat somebody and we're first, like just like the sheer volume of like more hits that we'll get will sometimes be in like the tens of thousands. So it's just,
if not hundreds of thousands.
If not
If
hundreds,
you're second and the first
Yeah.
you're just getting like 500,000 views, and the second is maybe
Yeah.
getting 30,000 views. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And there can be 2 minutes between the two videos.
Yeah.
Like we've sat here competing. We're
Oh,
like
yeah.
the first one out, right? And it's true. Like the next day we're like maybe 15,000 views difference, and it's seconds.
That's why Steve was doing VGA uploads for years,
Yes,
right?
So I actually
recently.
I actually switched to 720p this year, 2 months ago, because I was doing, although it was still 2.5 megabits, the VGA, it was a good quality VGA, and
good.
these guys were really taking it. And it was MJPEG as well, huge files. I could get like 8 minutes on a 2 gig card, and that was it. But I was actually able to process it in Windows Movie Maker. Seriously, Movie Maker, head, tail, title, done. And it was quick.
On a netbook.
On a netbook.
On a netbook. On like a Atom, super like.
And it was running at about
not
1x,
powerful.
1.5x real time to do encoding. So, yeah, okay. I mean, my best videos are still the VGA ones that went up, just because I had time to do them. Just quick, done, up. Okay, forget it. Next one. So it was almost like, what's the more chances you take, the more chances you get of a win. Yeah. What's the guys do this on a Friday evening with girls, fancy a dance? No, next one, fancy a dance? So, gave me more chance to have one success out of, maybe 5 videos. So, yeah.
But you always, or most of the time, work alone. Like you're holding the camera, speaking into it, and.
I don't know. We work so closely together that I might be holding the camera for Nicole and she might be holding it for me. Although we're in theory competition, but we get so much more out of working together than maybe losing 10,000 video views or something. But it's not worth worrying about that at all.
It's actually something rare to see in Germany, right? Where kind of competitive sites or media outlets.
Yeah, actually, I find.
I mean, I did videos for Engadget and The Verge, and they've been holding the cameras for us.
Yeah.
And because we had no one around, well, try to ask someone from Schipper or Heise to hold the camera for you while you're doing this. Right? That's not going to happen.
It's so weird though. Like I view YouTube as one of those places that's like the heydays of blogging still. Like 5-6 years ago when I started, the community was so small that you can't help but be friends with everybody and help everyone. And that if someone's successful, you're like, yes, someone's made it, and you're happy for everyone. And now blogging's gotten a lot more. People are meaner, and it's more difficult.
It's business.
Yeah,
It's
business now. But on YouTube, like it just seems like the more you collaborate with everyone on it, you can the more successful you are. Like if we appear in your videos and then link back to them, and then commenters know that we're friends.
I mean, it's still more personal branding, right?
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like a more. I don't know. It's more romantic still for me. I think it's.
You're building
still
personalities instead of just brands. It's more personal.
Yeah.
And it's what you said yesterday, that YouTube is still growing as a whole. So there's no. You don't have one group you're fighting against to get them. the group's still growing. So
Yeah.
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 I mean, there's more competition now, of course, on
Yeah.
YouTube. 2 years ago, it was a lot
Yeah.
easier to get the traction for a video, but it's still making business sense, I think, now.
It's easier to monetize now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be,
Yeah.
at least in the developed world, easy to monetize. US, UK, Germany, Australia, Canada, and stuff. I don't know about the rest of the world. It's difficult to track that.
The monetization
in the long term.
definitely went up, right, when you're taking a look at the development of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But if I compare this, what we're doing right now to like 5 or 6 years ago, where we've been on the show floor and we're pretty much the only ones doing this.
Yeah.
And when we did like, I don't know, 10 global exclusive videos a month. And now you have like, you're competing against bloggers from Greece, Russia, Singapore. They all have the same access to this information, right? And they will get it up before you. And then they are getting this coverage. So it's still this race to escape into exclusivity.
Yeah, but it's becoming more than just becoming exclusive now. I mean, that used to be like the biggest goal, but now it's just it's too difficult to, like, The Verge and their launch in tech blogging. I mean, there was like 60 people at CES. I mean, and then Engadget had 60 people at CES, and they had back support and their own backbone for upload. And then there's us. There's the three of us at CES hoping to take them on.
Hey,
but
but being flexible. I mean, I think this is a part of the key. You know, being mobile, being really helping each other, sticking together, and then just getting it done. You know, I mean, it's a balance of quality, speed against speed against quality.
Speed against quality, and now it's just that kind of challenge to try to cram as much quality in as quickly without. And that's why the kit's so important, that we can now spend a little more time trying to figure out, hey, maybe we can do this in the video and that in the video, and not compromise the fact that we still want to get it done really, really fast. So now it's almost like our minds and our abilities that are slowly becoming the bottleneck and not the tech. So which is a nice place to finally be on the show floor.
Can I ask a question? How many of you guys are using Apple for editing? Raise your hands. So the rest of you are using Windows? Was that about 50-50? Looks like it. Maybe a few more using Apple than Windows. Anyone care to throw some complaints about Windows onto the floor? How do you find it? What product are you using for editing?
I'm using Sony Vegas.
Yeah, that was also recommended to me.
Just like Nicole said. I mean, back when I chose Vegas, PowerDirector 9 was out, just out. I was thinking, well, do you go 8, do you go 9? And I found that both of them had stability issues, and I thought I wouldn't want to compromise on that.
Exactly.
Still, Vegas, as you said, it's a little unwieldy. It really impedes my progress. So I was very interested to hear about PowerDirector 10 and maybe ditching Vegas for PowerDirector.
I went through the whole of CES, the whole week. I didn't reboot my PC once and did about 50 videos on PowerDirector. 2-3 years ago, would have been rebooting once a day, I think. They seem to have got stability right, at least on this platform now, on the Intel platform. I'm really, really pleased with that.
That's another factor there, because I have a last gen laptop, so I wouldn't participate in the performance boost that you're getting at this point. So that's another issue I'm going to have to look at if I want to increase my output. But still, I mean. What you just said, I mean, it's not about the hardware anymore, as long as you have a solution that works for your workflow. I think what you guys are doing is just personality, instilling personality and trust into these short reviews and the longer stuff you're doing. So that to me is the reason why I go back to certain bloggers all the time. I'm usually not scouring YouTube for I am looking for particular products, but if I see somebody who I've watched before and I know the quality of their video and what they're talking about is what sort of resonates with me, then I'll always go for the known. Always.
Yeah, that's true. I think of maybe 10% of viewers. I don't know. The rest of it probably I think comes from this mass search that goes on. and you have to be quick and you have to be quick to get to that audience, I think. I mean, I have a really great audience following. I rarely have shitty comments on YouTube videos. I mean, how rare is that? You know? So that's really nice. So I know that the followership is there, but that's a very small percentage of the total video views that I need to make money, of course. So this speed and mobility part is just critically important.
I didn't get. I was late to the session. What site do you work for?
So I have 3 tech sites, but all on mobile computing. I have carrypad.com, which is about tablets, and ultrabooknews.com,
Right.
which is my main focus now.
But you're mainly on YouTube then.
Revenue-wise, I'm about 25% is about 30% is YouTube, I think.
Okay, and the rest is your blogging as well.
And the rest is the blogs,
Okay.
and other stuff, mainly blog advertising.
For us, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these guys have got more of a YouTube
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, I'd say we're what, 60,
I mean, we're still doing more content on the blogs, right?
70? Yeah.
But we're creating a way bigger revenue on YouTube. So let's say, on average, over the last 12 months, we did about 1,000 videos. And that's like, 3 videos a day. Because, I mean, it's mainly because when you go into an event like CS or like CeBIT over here in Germany, you're easily doing 100 to 150 videos a week. Easily.
Easily.
I mean, you can do
Not
that.
easily at all, but
Well, in terms of the number, right?
Yeah.
That's no problem at all.
Yeah.
It's easy to hit that number. It's
I mean, it happened so many times that I found an SD card from any show that was like 12 months ago. That, oh my God, there's still 20 videos on there.
yeah.
I totally forgot about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't upload them anymore, right? It just makes no sense.
Dancing robots ones you can always upload. Those are timeless. Dancing robots.
That's true. So, but if you compare this to our blog content, on both sides we are releasing about 20 articles a day on average. So that's like 20 times the amount of topics a day compared to YouTube. But YouTube makes 3 times the revenue for us.
But remember this, I don't think any of us would be running just a YouTube channel or just a
No.
blogging channel.
Well, I tried when I joined Slashshot and launched netbooknews.com. Basically, I've been doing video online for 6 years, and I thought, and I've been such an advocate for it for 6 years that I'm just like, no, this is the future. YouTube's the future. I can do this. I can, because when I left BNet, they were replicating a broadcast model online. And I was just like, it's cool to show up with 12 people at a show, but who's gonna pay for this? I mean, it wasn't a sustainable model. And so I was just tired of fighting against my boss. And so when I left, I was like, I was gonna prove them wrong and be a YouTube channel and make it happen. But you can't have the credibility with the companies with just a YouTube channel, right? Like maybe it's kind of growing that way today a little bit, but the site was just a landing page for the videos, and there really wasn't that much text content. It took me about a year to just accept the fact that I had to still create text content, and there had to be more around it than just that. Even though YouTube was still the majority of our revenue, not back then, but I mean, it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
I really tried.
One drives the other.
Yeah.
You see daily getting views from link throughs from YouTube, but then again on the other direction you're pushing from your blog readers into the YouTube channel.
But what are you depending on manufacturers for? I mean, I realize that being a smaller outlet, you of course have less clout with manufacturers and less access to certain exclusive events. But other than that, I mean, the quick and dirty thing you just did, this way of working. How does it sort of impede your progress there? Do you not get access to stuff that?
It's good questions, like I can't offer B-roll to anyone, for example, because I don't do really high quality source.
I don't know. We still get exclusives out of Taiwan. We still get lots of leaks, early access to hardware.
I mean, you're getting requests from news outlets to use your YouTube videos on broadcast. So
I think
I don't think so. I think
we're producing more exclusive tech
Yeah.
news a month than the whole German tech media's a year.
Well, you're at the source.
It's a pretty bold statement, right? But it's true, just a fact, because we're living in a country where you have 80% of the hardware industry of the headquarters over there, and we can reach them in like 15 minutes. And if we don't have any news, we're just going to the goddamn computer market, which is like insane. Right?
Showing how
You have,
USB sticks are made.
you have like 300 shops over there, and you will always find content each and every day.
And we spend 5 months of the year on the road.
Yeah.
But between the two of us, we're on the road all year.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're constantly there, and like
In Taiwan or internationally?
Internationally. So I mean, we work for our content. That's for sure.
I mean, that's just now
We
a
just
6 weeks trip. We're going back
6 weeks a year.
next week,
Yeah.
and we left Taiwan
End
at the end of February.
Yeah.
Everything has changed by now, hopefully.
Oh,
The
yeah?
entire tech scene.
I can't wait to go
Everything
back.
has been replaced.
Can happen.
Yeah.
So your big picture, because time-wise, I think you invest a lot in many different activities. But when I want to make up my mind how you work, is you have content sources or customers who are you working with? Then you have some kind of community, or I don't like the word community management. It's more like viewer relationships for you. Then you are in peer groups like here. So, and then you have your normal jobs, the producing, what you explained. So if you have to distribute time in between these 4 areas, how would this be percentage-wise?
Oh, it's really, really, really tough.
Because personal branding
I
is
have to put also into that family as well.
Oh,
It doesn't
So that doesn't contribute equally in this
No, I mean,
workspace?
it also depends on what's happening at the time. So for example, at CeBIT or CES, you know, it's videos. Get the videos out, shorten the content on the blog, get the videos done. I mean, that's key, really. I mean, the life of a video is 20 times the life of a blog post.
Okay, in March then there's a priority of producing.
Yeah.
So, but if
Then
you
when it gets to June, you might be doing more editorial, more research, and so the time
More
spent on the blogs.
reviews.
So it's more calendar and event based.
Yeah, it really is
Yeah.
event-based, and it's so changing every year. We could come back here next year and give you different figures every year, I'm sure. There'll be something else. G+, Google Plus has changed the amount of time we spend on social networks now as well.
Yeah.
A year ago it had been Twitter only, and now it's pretty much G+.
So you can't distinguish really what percentage you
It's changing so quickly, right? And again, it's depending on the season, especially in the summer. Let's say like late June, July, August. It's kind of silly season, but nothing's happening really. Right? There are no launches because everybody's getting prepared for IFA, right? And then that's going to be the last big show before the holiday season. But then it's starting again. January is busy, and especially February and March are super busy, and then it's June again. So, and yeah, our content changes due to this, absolutely.
And we have different styles of content as well. So they're doing, say, 70% video revenue, 30% blog revenue. I'm the other way around. I tend to be a little bit more long-form writer and do less videos. So it also depends on how you position yourself with your audience.
Your long-form videos are also.
Well, so I will do, for example, I will sit down for 2 hours with a product and do a live review for 2 hours with people watching. We do it over Ustream, and we have an IRC chat session. And I'll just review the product from start to finish in 2 hours, but I'll record segments. So I'll end up with 4 videos, fairly low quality, and I'll put those up at the end of the 2-hour session. So I do some in-deep stuff. So I think probably we should look at that. The average length of my videos compared to your videos is probably 2 or 3 times as long, I would say. So yeah, it depends on how you where you.
Because it takes you 10 minutes to open the fucking package of device before you start your review. I'm just kidding. No, some of them are actually really successful. You remember when we did this tablet wall video last year when I was in Bonn?
Yeah.
So we did a video over like 45 minutes, having 12 or 14 tablets over there and reviewing them live, and we recorded it, and it has over 80,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, I bet
So it's not too
250
bad.
people live watching as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does it cost to get 250 people in front of a product in a normal PR process? I mean, you know this. Yeah, it's very expensive. So for me to sit down there and use free streaming software, a couple of old cams, and a video mixer that's a PCI card, and get 250 people watching was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I've got a question regarding the manufacturers. I think it has changed, hasn't it, that PR people like me realized, or have realized, what you guys are doing, that the bloggers are important. So have you experienced a change of mind? I've been in social media for 5 years or something like that. My colleagues in PR don't think all the, well, especially the large manufacturers don't have the same.
Totally agree. I think the PR people now realise Germany's actually a slightly different case. I think so. I lived in Germany
Germany's
10 years. So when I started doing video blogging in Germany, I started trying to make relationships with PR people in Germany. 2 problems. Number one, I can speak German, but obviously I'm not German. That makes communication a little bit more difficult. And I'm writing English content. I mean, that was clearly, not the best channel maybe for them. But it's all about the niche and how you get the right people engaged in what you're doing. So I'm not a believer in an Engadget that's this wide and that reaches these people, because I don't think you've got cross feeds of content and content here, and someone that might respond over here or someone that might be out there. But if you've got channels, I think you reach the audience better. And I think the PR people kind of realise that the engagement there is much higher. And that's, I think, what we were talking about earlier. With YouTube, it's niche content all the time. You choose your niche, and you really engage with the audience. Whereas NDR are doing a generic news bulletin, and the engagement levels are totally different. And also that we love what we do. We've actually chosen subjects that we love, And if you're a reporter for NDR and you're given a job, it might not be something you love. And it's so easy to express the passion for a product when it's good, It's also it's easy to spot a shitty product, but it's honest. That's the thing. It's really honest.
It's open. It's honest. There's ways of getting feedback from audiences at YouTube. It's not easy filtering out what's actually when somebody actually has a deeper knowledge on the subject, or probably it's more in cases like you just said, these 2-hour-long sessions when you're in IRC. Somebody will probably chime in and correct you once or twice, and you have an idea that somebody might be there who has a deeper knowledge and who you can engage with, maybe get some feedback on the product, maybe hand them over or build a connection with the manufacturer. So you're getting into a position where it's not just you doing your reviews and you're doing what you love, but you're also building connections.
It's really two-way, So in those 2-hour live sessions, we might have had the manufacturer and I've had Samsung products and Samsung PR people in the session. I know they were there because they were on the Skype channel in the background saying, "I'm watching." They're not in the IRC channel. They're anonymous 53542.
I'd rather you didn't, because I'm going to trash your product.
But hey, I've broken products live. I've had them smoke in front of me. Seriously, I put the wrong cable in one product once, and smoke came out the bag. So, and the video was being recorded. So I told the manufacturer. And they sent 2 more within the next week. Two more. So, just in case you smoke another one, here's 2.
With the manual, where to put the table.
No, actually, so that was a great case. When the product launched, there was a sticker, because they'd use a very common connector, and it was a 5-volt device, and everything at 19 volt would be plug in and it would blow it up. So when it launched, it had a sticker on it. Please, 5 volts only. Beware. So actually, probably saved them a lot of money. I think I saved them a lot of time.
But like I said, the rise of YouTube and the growth of YouTube really helped us a lot. I remember, even though that I'm coming to Taiwan for 12 years right now, and I've been working in the industry before, and I've had my whole network over there. When we've been talking in early 2009 or in 2009 to PR managers about what we're doing, and that they need to make sure that to connect to us, and, talking about social media strategies. These are Asian guys, and they have a huge problem with critics. What's going to happen if someone's leaving a negative comment? I said, well, I guess that's life, right? And actually it gives them a chance to reply to it, right? And so they've had a hard time to deal with it at the beginning. As soon as they saw the potential that you have in a YouTube video, or in a video that goes viral, and globally viral, as soon as they figured that out, that was way easier for us to approach them. And right now, when we're doing videos at their booth, where they have like 2 or 3 people taking pictures of us that we've been there at their booth, right, and doing the videos. And they can also be, they can also be safe that that we know what we're doing. Right? It's not getting reviewed by any kind of weirdo that has no clue about this device or about the whole industry or whatever. These are all one-take videos. So a one-take video, you need to make sure that you have a little bit of background, because otherwise you're going to screw it up immediately. And it definitely reveals if you're into this industry or not.
Yeah.
And so this definitely helped. YouTube definitely helped us to gain this credibility and reputation with the manufacturers. Right now, it's just for us, it's a fantastic relationship that we have with most of the manufacturers in this industry.
So guys, we should wrap up. There's people are coming in, I think. Yeah.
Sorry.
For the
next session.
It's a continuation, so.
But if you
Companies on YouTube.
netbooknews.com, netbooknews.de, and ultrabooknews.com. Feel free to send us emails or ask anything you need to ask about ultramobile videos. Thank you.